KIBI is an acronym for Keep It or Break It. KIBI Hunt is an event organized to hunt for young talented individuals on campus and then exposing them to angel investors. KIBI Hunt was pioneered by Green Prey, whose major aim was to develop young talents, projecting them to limelight. It has never happened before. It's the debut of its kind, happening live in Rivers State University of Science and Technology, RSUST. It all started in December 11, 2015 at UST Amphitheatre, Port Harcourt City, the capital of Rivers State. I was amazed that such an event, the debut of it, could attract its inhabitants to this great institution. Red carpet was amazing with Duake AB Jr. Most of our guests were interviewed on the red carpet, one after the other. Those that couldn't were represented. The models were also interviewed in the makeup room. Their instructor, Sandra, wasn't exempted as it took an amazing moment in expressing themselves. At 2 p.m, the event started. Washington Ansa and Mary DK were the very first to stand behind the microphone. Miriam Rikere was called upon to take the opening prayers at a point where our audiences were hurriedly counting steps to catch up with the event. She did saturate the atmosphere with the most powerful words of prayer ever heard. Dignitaries were introduced one after the other, after which UST anthem was then chorused by everyone. At this moment, a Luther anthem was recited. Everyone stood for it and Peter Bright led the recitation. Green Prey and Happiness were called upon to transform the atmosphere. It was outlandish that young minds like that of the KIBI family could imagine the beauty in giving people hope. According to Green Prey, don't make people lose hope because that might be the only thing they need. Fumi sang with a beautiful tone. Rina presented her poem and everywhere was as quiet and calm like a sleeping ocean. In comedy, Kuti troubled the audience and they were shocked as they murmured, but later they enjoyed every part of it. George the Memorandum danced to diverse rhythms after thrilling the audience with multiple laughter. Doc Coxon, on his angle, narrowed every comedy space with gospel jokes. The A1 demonstrated more surprising musical performances when he made the crowd to yell, and they were very happy he performed. He swung himself on stage as every part of his body rocks. Some audience started leaving when he attacked tribes, but others enjoyed the concept. He stepped out of the little stage towards the audience. Was the stage too small for him to perform, or was he intending to involve his audience deeply in his attitudinal display? Maybe or maybe not. He came back to the stage. To and fro he hustled. The audience responded with a noisy scream as money rained on him. He restored on the jungle's decks and left after a while. What a wake-up performance! Legal Zacchaeus dramatically exposes his talent. He walked to the stage reluctantly, but his comedies were nothing to compare with his height. His comedies are taller than him. Now he laughs. Very popular before he could say a word, the audiences have already started cracking his old jokes. He changed the order of the day when he collected Muffler from Spencer, forcing him to be Mr. Lausanne. He played with his audience like the way twin kitten play. Bringing his audience closer could help him predict his next words, which prepared the audience for already made laughter. He acknowledges the presence of George the Memorandum and they briefly talked. Now, the exposure came when he went further to talk about his family. Be Bright at this point was encouraged to perform. After performance, the models were called and they came according to how they were introduced. They danced and the judges were carefully observing. The audiences responded by shouting and spotting money on the models when they individually jacked out their dancing skills. Splendor and Rupiji mutually planned not to only rap. They eventually entertained the audience and everyone present could attest that their performance was unique. Becky Swag did not keep any line from his swag. His demonstrations were worth witnessing live. His performance persuaded the entrance of more audiences. Grimprey and Happiness at this point and now charging the atmosphere with vigorous anchoring. Son of Man collected the microphone but did not end in talking. He demonstrated his words and the audience loved it. Sentiti, a good performer, made KIBI Hunt unique with his performances. He advanced his way into the midst of the audience during the performance of his hit track. Dr. Soye Asawo arrived as a motivational speaker. He came with someone that could make his words more physical. Everyone was touched about the story of the man he brought. Black Boy, another interesting comedian, pulled the trigger with his choice of words. With the right story, he stressed the day until Charles stumbled the stage. It was pathetic. Everyone's heart almost failed, so they gathered courage once more by clapping for her. Compassionately, she melted her voice in consonance with the atmosphere. As touchy as it was, Chanceling was able to gather multiple applause. Cindy Wap, another female act, demonstrated full-fledged performance by converting the atmosphere to an influential one. Those who were scared of performing were actually influenced by this atmosphere to give in their very best. The models appeared again with different styles at this point. They were flaunted their beauties effortlessly. It was now time for the models to be identified. This was the moment where you were looking for who to trust, who to believe in, and who to look up to. The models are now characterized by what they know, so they submitted themselves to be questioned by the judges. After all the struggles, after traveling far and wide, after predicting the future, here we are to witness who is qualified to wear the one crown. And finally, it was Kwasi Hope, who turned out to be the KIBI Queen and also an ambassador of KIBI Entertainment. Comedians, musicians, presenters, motivators, and other talented personalities around, far and beyond, came and they all performed. The next edition of KIBI Hunt will be promising, thrilling, and award-winning.